In this video, I am going to talk to you guys about what I think is one of the most important products of the year. It is the Bosch Powermore 250 battery extender right here. I'm going to tell you all about it. What's so significant about this product. 7 things, real details that you might not know about it, some disadvantages of it, and I'm going to compare it to the competition. There's quite a bit out there right now that are battery extenders. All right, what is it? A battery extender is an external battery that increases the capacity of your e-bike and the range as well. And what's really compelling about it is it works both on their full-powered CX-powered bikes and their mid-powered SX-powered bikes. So fully compatible, and that's great for inventory for dealers. And also, if you have a fleet of Bosch e-bikes, this one thing will really find utility on both your mid-powered and full-powered bikes. Okay, some details about this device right here. The most important is the capacity. It is 250 watt hours, so that is very significant. And a lot of products before were released at 160 watt hours, maybe 200. I think 250 is very compelling because now you're talking that it's worth the time and effort. All the packaging, because there's sunk weight into this thing to just have a battery. So 160 is a little too small. 250 is just about right. A lot of the e-bikes right now have 600, 700, or 750. So you could expect like a 30 to 40% increase in your range when you use one of these. And if you have a mid-power bike, most mid-power bikes are 400 watt hours. So put 250 in there, more than a 50% increase in your range with this little device right here. So the price is $525 just for this, the mounting plate, and they give you a water bottle mount for your water bottle, not for this guy. A cable, they have 7 different lengths of this guy. It's about $32 for this. And the whole system weight is 1,552 grams or 3.44 pounds. So it's not insignificant. What is 3.44 pounds? It is almost the weight of 2 of these. The short water bottles filled to capacity, 2 of these, that's the weight of your battery right there. And where it's positioned right on the down tube. And you'll notice, this is no accident, that the length of it is almost exactly like the water bottle, because almost all bikes are made to fit a short water bottle. So a short water bottle, if it fits a short water bottle, it'll fit one of these. A little shorter because it has some edges. So definitely, and what designers are hoping to do is put it as low as possible, because this is 3.44 pounds of weight. The more it is closer to your handlebar, the more you'll feel it. All right, I'm going to tell you 7 things about this extender battery right here. And the first is, what is it compatible with? Is it compatible with my 5-year-old Bosch motor? Probably not. So it's compatible really with the CX4 and CX5 motors and all the SX motors with the smart port. And the smart port, you go to their app, it has a certain plug. It says, you can see that it's going to work, but you do need a firmware update. I have a bunch of bikes here. Only these 2 it would work on. The others want an update. It will just throw up an error. Okay, so installation of this guy, it takes about, I don't know, about half hour, maybe an hour if it's your first time. And what you have is a package. They sell it for $525 retail. I've seen it cheaper. And basically they give you a sliding mounting plate and an aluminum reinforcement to put on. And it gives it a very solid structure. So you mount that on, and then you slide it in. So it has 2 slots right here, and you slide it in from the right side. Okay, and don't make the same mistake as me. They ship you with this guy right here for free, because that's not compatible with the water bottle cage anymore. If you, in cases where you're not using it, they give you a cage. And what I did is I put this in here. It wasn't easy, but I was able to do it, and it didn't quite fit. And after a day of looking at it, I researched it and I said, oh, you don't need this. Unlike the other systems by Trek, by Specialized, Giant, this doesn't need a cage. And that's one of the beautiful things about it, is it's a solid structure with a smart sliding system, so you don't need to put this in a cage. That's and that's part of the reason why they were able to put 250. They don't have the restrictions of must fit in a water bottle cage. And then once you plug it in, system off, of course. When you turn it on, it's automatically going to recognize your extender. But if you have a typical Bosch system with just the 5 bars of battery storage, you can't tell. You can't tell if it's connected or not. So you have a little bit of anxiety initially. So what you need to do is open the app. When you open the app, it'll show you, 0 to 100%, but it'll show you 2 battery bars right there. If you have a display on your system, it's going to show it to you one way or another. The 2 batteries is your indicator that your extender is recognized. And so how is it being used by the system? It is always by default, they're going to discharge at the same time. So your system battery, internal battery, and the extender battery will be discharged at the same time. There's no option to discharge this first and then that one. Unfortunately, the Levo SL has that, and it's very handy if you want to carry multiple of these, or just kind of once they're consumed to zero, just throw them away. Put them back in the car, or put them on the trail side where you can find it later, because it's 3.44 pounds, so you don't have that option. It's going to drain at the same time. One key question is, when your main battery is dead, let's say you don't have an extender, you just kill your main battery, you happen to have this in the pack, can you power it with a dead main battery? And the answer is wholeheartedly yes. So works very well that way. It's on a, by the way, it's on a 0 to 100% scale. It just doesn't tell you how many watt hours there are. So when you put this on by itself, it's going to put it on the scale of your internal battery. So it's normally 400 watt hours. This one is 250. So it's going to tell you, oh, you're about 60% full right now. On this one, it was giving me a weird number. It was just telling me 22%. Like, I expected 33%, because 250 is 33% of 750. But more on that later, because I investigated that like a detective. The other option you can have is, if you have a removable main battery, you can just take that off. Take it off, just run off this, maybe a couple of these. So kind of a cool option, because, a main battery on this guy is probably like 6, 7, 8 pounds. Imagine me running my Pivot Shuttle LT and saving 5 pounds. That would be kind of an interesting experiment. So on the fourth operational notes, can this run, if let's say your system is dead and you're just running off the extender, can it run on turbo? And the answer is, officially they say no, don't do it. It's hard on the system. It won't work. But the official answer is yes, it works. Basically, that was completely dead, zero. I put this on and I went on a ride until this thing died. Mostly a lot of turbo, and it worked fine. It was kind of warm. The battery was kind of warm, but it was fine. And by the way, I got 1,800 feet of climbing with a little help from my legs, very little. So it does work on turbo on its own. Not advisable for long term, because there's a lot of stress on the battery. On this guy, no doubt, this is just an SX motor, not that demanding. But this is a CX race, by the way, so it can run on turbo. The fifth detail I want to tell you about is, does it really have 250 watt hours? How do you know, right? Because there's no reading. It's kind of merged in with your main battery. And I said initially, when this was dead and I put this on by itself, it said 22% full, and this was fully charged. So I was a little suspicious, because it should have read 33%. 250 is 33% of 750. Okay. But I think that's just a bug in the system. Basically, I was able to climb 1,800 feet, which is about what I expected with this guy. Also, I charged it. So I charged it with their charger, and I measured how much energy did the charger take to charge this 250. And basically, this charger, the standard charger, took 300 watt hours of energy to charge 250. And that's with the charger loss. When you plug it in, it'll tell you what's the expected range on Eco. and it was I'll show you the numbers, but on eco or turbo it went up significantly by 33% on this guy, and about by 60% on this guy. So according to the calculations, it's okay. Okay, what is how does this guy compare to the competition? I would say the first one is Trek. Trek has a TQ 160 watt hour battery for $600 and $31 for the cable. Very expensive and very small. There's $1 per watt hour, and also there's a gram per watt hour, and I hope to give you those numbers. Trek is no good. The Specialized SL is 450 plus a $35 cable, and that's also 160 watt hour, and they're hardly worth the effort. Giant has a 200 watt hour for $600 for the package, kind of expensive. And then Orbea, they're on their second generation of extenders now, and they got expensive. They used to be very reasonable, but they're using the latest cells for the best power to weight ratio, and now they're $650 for 210 watt hours. So this is looking pretty darn good, especially because it works with both CX and SX. You kind of amortize your investment a little more if you have both kinds of bikes. So finally, pros and cons of the system. Obviously, it's one big pro to have an option. In fact, it is so good that it's making the CX motor look good and the SX motor look good. Before, only the mid-powered bikes, teeny battery bikes, and power would have extenders, but the coup that they said was it'll work with our full power as well. So now you can make your full power 600, so you can add 250. Now you have 850. You have the options to make your full powered bike lighter, and in fact that's what the Santa Cruz Vala did on my review here. So that is just amazing. And if you have a 750 or 800, you add this, now you have 1,000, 1,050. Now you're going on an expedition. You don't need two of these to go on your trekking ride. So really just bunch of pros on this guy, and it works as advertised, works very well. So on the cons, I would say the cable looks kind of chintzy, and it doesn't hold its structure very well, so it looks kind of dangly. You have to affix it to make it look clean. In my pivot right now, it's kind of not quite there. You have to tuck it in another cable. So also this cable is the one you plug into the bike. You have to remove it every time you charge the bike. So very clunky, and it's hard to get this out. This one has a spring-loaded thing. It's a little easier, but as you can tell, maybe we put some lithium grease on these things to make this plugging in and out easier. And then the other disadvantage, and now you mess with your weight distribution. Your 46.5-pound bike now is now 50 pounds, and the weight is in the wrong spot, and you lost your water bottle. No doubt, those are disadvantages. If you're very sensitive about weight, you will notice this. But that's why you can take it off. So most of the time you're riding it, when you don't need it, you take it off. And I think battery should be modular, like your water, configurable, so to speak. The other disadvantage is charging. Now charging takes a whole lot more time. One process could take a lot more hours because you have to get in there at the right time when it's cooked, and then unplug it, put it on the other one. So my recommendation for that, until we get a better system for charging, the Levo SL figured this out. You charge them both at the same time from one charger. But that would take a long time. The real solution for this guy is just get two chargers. So when you get two chargers, they will charge at the same time. So your time to charge is actually the same or better than before, because you would have used your main battery less, and now that will charge quicker. Now you're doing parallel charging, so to speak. So there you go, Bosch Powermore 250, more power to the e-bike people. Thank you.